Introduction. The Sputnik, something something in Russian, meaning Satellite 1. Sputnik became one of the biggest innovative projects ever done in mankind. The Sputnik was a satellite. No, it's more than a satellite. It became the founding father for future satellite and space technology. Designed and launched by the Soviet Union, USSR for short, built by the time the Cold War began and also started a space race, ignited basically, the Sputnik became in controversy in between two giant nations in its time. What was a Sputnik? The date of advancement slash milestone, the Sputnik launch was in October 4th, 1957, which is actually also my birthday. Not in 57, but October 4th. It marked as the first satellite in history to be launched and functioning. Where did it take place? It was built and launched in Kazakh, something like that, SSR, which is now Baikonur Cosmosite, Russia today. It was in development from 1954 all the way to 1957. Who was involved? It was built by the Soviet Union space program. The director was Sergei Korolev, founder and director of the Sputnik 1 program. Timeline was first built in 1954 to be launched by 1957. Sputnik was only in operation until 1958 before being put out of commission. What was a Sputnik? Continued. Accomplishments: first satellite to be launched, and it was also launched during the International Geophysical Year in 1957, I believe. I mean, it makes sense if you do the math. It was launched in 1957, so it makes sense. What was the media coverage? When news broke out about the Sputnik launch, it made headlines worldwide, but nobody felt more pressure other than USA. Citizens were starting rumors, theories due to the launch of the Sputnik, fearing the Soviet Union was planning something behind their backs, as this was during the beginning of the Cold War. Maybe something nuclear. I don't think anyone wanted to be blown up, so yeah. What major events were happening at the time? The Sputnik was the first domino to fall, creating a space race between USA and the Soviet Union. That was one of the big parts of the Cold War, which broke out in 1957, coincidentally. The space race supposedly thought to be ended by 1975 when the Apollo missions ended with the first successful man on the moon. And then the Cold War ended by 1991, or so to be thought. What is a Sputnik? The Sputnik was developed by the Soviet space program, first developed in 1954 and then launched in 1957. I feel like I repeated that like a million times already. Designed to be a radio transmitter, it was a metal sphere with 4 external antennas, pretty spiky, powered by 3 silver zinc batteries. Made the Sputnik only be powered for a few weeks. My TV remote lasts longer than that. The antennas could easily be detectable with common equipment since it had very common radio frequencies, 20.5 megahertz and 40.2 megahertz. The Sputnik was a very simple satellite. It rotated around low orbit Earth 1,440 times. That's a lot. Before being put out of commission in 1958, this satellite served only as a demonstration by the Soviets to the world about this new technology, as the Sputnik was the first satellite ever to be launched. It marked as a base plate or catalyst for future satellite and space technology. Sputnik's influence. The Sputnik, being the first satellite, became the base plate for satellites to come. Being the first inspired several nations to not only make better but more innovative satellites. The Sputnik became one of the first examples of space technology and innovation. It further expanded the knowledge of understanding how aerospace technology is, stuff like that. I didn't finish it for some reason. It politically challenged other nations to spend more funding into their space programs to outdo the Soviets' new Sputnik satellite, which should be easy, at least by today's standards. It also triggered the space race between USA and the Soviet Union, creating more tension as it led to the Cold War. Conclusion. The Sputnik was one of the most important milestones in mankind. It left its mark in history without a doubt. As being the baseplate of satellite technology, it served as a demonstration of what space technology is capable of. It would inspire several nations to rise up and develop their own satellites that range in many purposes. While Sputnik was a marking technology, it also influenced political standpoints. As it ignited the space race between the Soviet Union and the USA, it caused a lot of tension between the two massive nations as it was during the Cold War. The Sputnik also caused a huge expansion in government funding towards aerospace technology, correct me if I'm wrong, dealing to many future milestones to come during the space race and after. That's it. Thanks. Please give me an A.